Jeff Rowe from Two Hacks Garage. Well, back at Jimmy's, back on Project Jumping Jack Flash. No surprise there. This is our nostalgia front engine dragster we're building. I'm sure you guys have already seen it by now. But if you've seen us, we've been making a whole lot of progress on this chassis. We're really going hard on it because we need to get this thing sandblasted and get it painted so we can start assembling this. Previous videos lately, you've seen us tackling all kinds of small things. We're going over the chassis, make sure all the welds are in place, make sure every little thing that we need to make sure is done, welded on this chassis is ready to go. So when we're ready to paint it, it's done. So in this video, what we're going to do, you see our whiteboard over there, we got a whole bunch more stuff to do. We're going to start looking at that whiteboard to see what we need to tackle along here to make sure it lines up with this so we can get it done, get everything in place. So when the time comes, we can get this thing all painted up. Some of the things we still need to do: steering shaft pinion support, chassis steering rod supports, which is down that way. We got to weld a steering shaft coupler and make that a little bit longer. We'll get to that here in a little bit. And we need to finish fabricating up that wheelie bar in the back. Like I said in the previous video, we did get the original wheelie bar out and look at it, and it's a mess. The bottom piece is good, but the rest of it's kind of just hot, rotten garbage. And Jimmy and I are going to tackle on making that right. So, you know what? What do you think, Jimmy?
Yeah, it worked.
I got my lucky Abe Froman Sausage King of Chicago shirt on. Jimmy's got his lucky hat on.
I got my new hat for all you hat lovers that's been telling Jeff or sending him stuff that they like my hat.
So Jimmy's got his lucky hat on. I've got my lucky shirt on. Today's going to be a good day. With that, we're going to get to work. All right, so one of the things that wasn't on our handy-dandy whiteboard here was some of the metal fabrication. Some of the stuff on here I had to order parts for, so we can't really get to it. The steering shaft pinion support, Jimmy's going to take care of that during the week. That's easy. We've already made a template for it. We just got to make it. That's not extremely important right now because we already have everything else built around it. Chassis steering rod, box or steering rod supports. We're going to do that here pretty soon. I just got the Teflon PTFE for the bushings in for that. We're going to make our own for those. I know they have them for sale, but they're kind of expensive, and we already have metal and the PTFE to do it ourselves. Weld steering shaft and coupler. That's another simple thing that we can take care of. I actually have all that in now. And wheelie bar fabrication. Again, that's some stuff I had to order parts for. So Jimmy went ahead and had this aluminum rolled. And what we're doing is, since we do have the time, the chassis itself, what we know except for the chassis steering rod supports, everything is welded on here. So we're really good to go on that. We're getting that much closer to be able to take this chassis, sandblast it, and paint it. So what we're going to do now is we're going to focus on some of this intricate body panel work. So this isn't going to be the way it looks. This is going to get a lot of cutting on it. There's going to be side panels that get stepped on there. What we got to do is we got to make sure all our angles are correct with this. And obviously it's going to get cut here, and there's going to be a windshield put in here, metal one. It's just really for looks and airfoil. Never done this before. In fact, Jimmy really hasn't done this before either. So this is going to be new to us. We're doing some brainstorming. That's when we set it on here. You saw us moving around a lot of stuff. So yeah, that's where we're at right now. I know it seems like we're all over the place, but there is a method to our mayhem. And guys, like I said, I've never done this before. It's something new, but we're going to figure it out. With that, Jimmy and I need to brainstorm. We got a whole lot going on. I'll see you in a few minutes. So what Jimmy did is he went out in his shed where we stored all the extra stuff that came with this car. These are the original side panels that came with the car. It's a little heavier gauge aluminum. We're not going to be using them. There's a couple of reasons why, because we've moved the engine configuration and part of the rear end stuff. So, but it is going to give us a little bit of a template here, guys. So when we start laying these side panels out where we put these Zeus fasteners in, it might lead us in the right direction. Like I said, we're not experts at this. We've never done this part of it before, but we're going to figure it out. Like Jimmy, He's got his lucky hat on. I got my lucky Abe Froman Sausage King of Chicago shirt in. If you guys don't know what that is, that's a reference to Ferris Bueller's Day Off. But yeah, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to actually take a look at these, lay them out, see how everything goes. And you know what, guys? With some luck, there won't be a whole lot of cussing. Probably will be. But with some luck, yeah, we'll get this done in the first shot, second shot, third shot. I don't know. But you know what? We're going to get to work. See you in a few. All right, well, it is the next day, and like I said, we still have a lot of stuff to do on the chassis, but waiting on some parts. So Jimmy and I are deciding to do body panels. Like in other videos, we've said cardboard is your friend. We're using cardboard to make body panel templates, and basically it's going to be different panels. If you look at this, this is a rough form of what we're going. We're leaving this up right now just because we don't know where the cowl is going to hit. So there'll be a panel back here, and there'll be another panel going forward.
I left this tall because some of the body panels, sometimes instead of having your Zeus fastener tabs like it's on the car here, you have to put it in another panel underneath of it. Of course, then you have the strength of two panels when you clip it together. But on this car, because it's going to come down, the way the windshield is going to be shaped, it's going to come down, so we might not have a place for a Zeus tab here. If we do, great, I'll put one on. But if not, then we'll have to go at it a different way.
So that's what we're doing. We're making body panels. See you in a few. All right, so Jimmy and I, we do have the left side, right side panels, like a rough cut done on each side. So we're going to go ahead and cut the metal for this. And what we need to do then at that point, as we cut it, we got to get the holes put in for the Zeus fasteners. And what we're going to have to do then is Jimmy and I are going to chuck up the rear end in here, because here it's going to have to get radiused out for the rear end panel. Like I said, there's going to be 3 panels down here, but we do need to get this in place to able to get that cut so we can start on the next panel. There's going to be a step in here because the next panel will overlap. Jimmy's got a cool tool for that. We'll show you that in a little bit. But so yeah, our 2 side panels in the rear, those are, we know the template. Cardboard's your friend. Repeat that. Cardboard is your friend. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and start cutting some metal. And you know what, guys? I'm kind of digging this. See you in a few. All right, so real quick with this, the Zeus fasteners, what you just saw us do there is Jimmy drilled a hole in the panel, and then you have these different dies here. You got number 1 and you got number 2. So you start off in that hole with number 1, and then you go to number 2. Basically, one creates a little bit sharper of edge, and then the second one goes in there and makes it more bevel. What Jimmy's doing right now is he's actually using a Zeus fastener transfer punch to get them lined up. I'll go show you that right now. Yeah, and he actually made it. I'll go show you what he's doing with that right now. All right, so he's got a Zeus fastener transfer punch, and I'll show that to you in a minute. And what he's going to do, he's going to hold it in the back there in the actual fastener, and he pops it. And what that does, it's going to put a mark on the outside of that aluminum. Let me see that piece real quick, Jimmy.
I got one more to poke.
Okay, so here's another picture of it. So what he's going to do is he puts that Zeus fastener punch in there, holds it on one side, pops it on the other. And so what that basically does is it actually puts a mark in the aluminum. I'll show you what that looks like.
I welded it. You have to use a steel one. I welded it up and then turned it down the lathe and made a side.
Yep, so that's actually homemade transfer punch.
Yeah, I made that like 50 years ago.
Yeah, he made it when he was 45 years old. So if you look right there, it puts that punch in there, that mark, like that, and then he goes and drills it, and then we use those dies. See you in a few. All right, well, cardboard is your friend. So we got the 2 templates made, and then we cut the aluminum. Like I said, that still needs to get cut, but we're not going to know that yet until we get the cowl on there and determine where that goes. We showed you how the Zeus fastener punch tool works and all that, and how that goes in. Now, mind you, we're still going to go in and we still got to rivet everything, but that'll happen after this vehicle or after the chassis is painted. The other thing about this is, guys, these Zeus fasteners here, they're actually flat, and if you notice, the punch makes a bevel. So I had to order new actual Zeus fasteners itself that are beveled instead of being flat on there. It's going to be much better of a fit, and it's going to allow these panels not to move around at all. Right now they're not, but over time they can. Plus I ordered ones with an Allen head, 3/16, much better. So still got a lot of work to do. Cardboard's your friend. You know what, guys? We'll see you in the next one.